All right, welcome to ITB Berlin Convention 2024, day 2, afternoon. My name is Willy Legrand. I'm a professor at the IU International University of Applied Sciences here in Germany, and I'll be your host this afternoon. Live with no excuses, travel with no regrets. I guess this is a bit of a reminder to fully participating really in life's journey, assuming responsibility, learning from each experiences really. And I think this afternoon this is what we'll do. That's the promise really. And the promise of destinations today is 3 words. It's digital, smart, and sustainable. But at the same time, of course, we're heading into an era of quite a lot of unpredictability, collaboration. We hear about it, very important across the entire value chain, crucial moving forward, of course. And it's juggling a little bit, isn't it? It's juggling risk and safety, it's juggling resilience and sustainability, and that's what we'll be looking at this afternoon. So we're going to be diving straight into it, actually. You probably have heard last week, the United Nations General Assembly has declared 2027 as the International Year of Sustainable and Resilient Tourism. And of course, this is a pretty good support for this industry that plays such an important role in building a better world, really, for all of us. Time for us to roll our sleeves up, perhaps, and live up to the expectations of change that's based in science. And that takes us straight into our keynote about this, and I'm super excited to welcome the Executive Director of the UN Tourism, Zoritsa Urosevic, and her keynote is Tourism Impact for Good, Creating a Science-Based Climate Economy for Tourism. Please welcome to the stage Ms. Zoritsa Urosevic. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Willy, for having us here. I'm really excited because yesterday we were on a panel and it was too short. I could not say everything I wanted. So maybe today is a continuation of what we need to address and what I wanted to share with you. And thank you for underlining 2027, which is going to be the celebration of the International Year for Resilient and Sustainable Tourism. And you are all invited to become the partners. So why I chose this title is because I think that, doesn't work? Doesn't want. Okay, no, too much. Okay, so what I just want to set the scene, and everywhere I go, because I speak a lot in spheres that are not the tourism spheres, is I think what is important to recall that tourism is trade in services in the global agenda. And being trade in services, in 2019, we were the 3rd export earning category in the world. So a very important one. That is going far beyond what we can imagine. And I think many of us don't know that. So I think that while we are looking at economy, we need as well to look at science. And I think that if we really want to make a big shift, we need to have the support of science. Here, I just wanted to illustrate what we are just saying here. Look at the drop in the world GDP, because we were 3.3% of world GDP as a sector, and we dropped to 1.5 during COVID, and we have recovered, and we're going to recover. We expect, of course, not all data in finance and revenue are settled yet, but we are expecting to recover the level of 2019. But what is very important as well to see is that while we have increased and we are almost, I will say it later on, 92% of export revenue, we are only to 88% of tourism arrivals. So interesting element. So here, again, I just wanted to demonstrate, and this is the World Trade Organization with us compilation, to see where we stand and where we used to stand in 2019. And you can see that fuel and chemicals were above us, but we were coming before food and automotive products, which dynamic has completely changed now in 2022. We don't have the numbers of 23, but we're now the 5th category in export. But we are picking up because we are very resilient. So, doesn't obey. We can see here the results of the world. As I said, globally, it's 88% that we have gone back in numbers, and some regions have, of course, are still a little bit lagging behind because they opened their frontiers later, such as in Asia and Pacific, but some regions have done extraordinarily more, like the Middle East have done 22% increase in tourism arrivals. Here again, and this is where I want to speak about sciences, because I think that traditionally we are measuring tourism and the world is measuring progress with the GDP. And many of you are very much aware that we are all looking at another lens on what could we do to look and measure impacts beyond GDP. And this is where we are. We are at a very important crossroads where we might have a game changer for the future. As the world has said, world GDP, and we are moving into a sustainable a statistical framework on measuring the sustainability of tourism, which was approved exactly last week as well. We were all in New York. We have been working 7 years on a framework for measuring tourism beyond economic impact, including social and environmental. And I'm sure I can't see you very well from here, but I'm sure that many people in the room have been involved and are involved to continue that journey. So as I said, economy was the first, but now we need to look at society and environment. And then there is another blueprint, another framework in which we evolve all is the SDG framework, the 2030 agenda. So that agenda as well is a little bit broader because it looks at prosperity, people and planet, which is another way to express exactly the same. And because we need to measure the impacts beyond GDP, because when we speak about carbon emission, it's not GDP. It can be valued in terms of economic terms, and environmental economics do that, but how do we do and how do we move into the reduction and the accounting? And of course, what impact it has on the society. So this is where we have engaged on the path to develop an ESG framework for tourism businesses to measure, which is going to mirror the MST framework, which is there. Was it? Oh, okay. This is what we need to do. We definitely need to unlock science and knowledge for all. And when I say that, I really mean it. I think that when it comes to big enterprises, everybody is well prepared, has the capacity and the competencies to move into being more sustainable, for example, and being more resilient, because you have the manpower and you have the scale that allows you to invest in your company to be more competitive and more sustainable, because these two aspects are intertwined. If you are reducing your operation costs, energy, water, managing waste, you are as well reducing not only your operation costs, but you are as well reducing your carbon footprint. So there is a trigger. But there is a whole world there of companies that do not have that capacity nor that knowledge. And this is what we need to address to build more resiliency and actually build more sustainability. So we want to take an acceleration on a 360-degree approach for sustainability, and we have been expanding our partnership with research institute, with university. We're working with Oxford, with Cambridge, but with many other. I'm just saying some prestigious because they speak to everyone. Some are less, but are more impactful. Sorry, Willy. We are going to work with you. You don't know yet, but we are. And basically, as well, private sector partners. We have a number of partners that are supporting that work, and I call on everyone to reach out to us if you want to join our extraordinary journey. And of course, what we want to do is to do good. And to do good, we need to create, I can say, I call it a climate economy, because I think that it's all about impacts. And the only way that we speak about impact today is economy. So we have no other way, but it encompasses all the dimensions. And of course, we should be going beyond just reducing the carbon footprint. What we should be looking at is looking at valuing what that reduction means, meaning natural things are in the biodiversity, in the nature. What we should be looking is at creating tools which are accounting what we are reducing by having a more circular type of operations. So if we reduce energy consumption, we need to measure how much we reduce, and we need to find a way to value that, monetary. And of course, as I said, the bottleneck and the foundation is to create new metrics for tourism. This is exactly what we are trying to look with the ESG framework for tourism, because we have many ESG framework, we have many ways to measure, but no one is aligned, so we cannot compare ourselves. I think it's important to measure, despite the tool we use, but I think it's even better if we can compare. So, we have some initiatives where we are going to look for partners, and I say really, and I mean it, for developing further the ESG tourism tool. We want to do it on artificial intelligence so that we can scroll and gather information from everyone. We want to design the tools we have already, Hotel Energy Solutions, which is for SMEs, and nearly zero energy hotels, which are for the moment for the 27 EU. And we want to create a really massive platform, Tourism Know, where we could be able to share all information, all partners all together. So this is the illustration, I think, that where we should be going. We need to enable a net zero transition, and we want to do that with partners. I can just share with you that this is the direction, and we definitely want to illustrate that more profit, competitiveness, sustainability, brand value, and jobs, because this is as well very important. This is going to create a lot of opportunities for new type of jobs. You said it, Willy, earlier with the digitalization, but I think green jobs are really a fantastic opportunity. And what we are going to do is we're going to reduce costs, resources, carbon footprint, and impact on climate, but as well inequalities. And of course, the impact is going to be for people, prosperity, and planet. And all of this is going to be sustained through the line that is on the bottom, which is sustained by the Glasgow Declaration for Climate Action, which many of you know and many of you are signatories. And this is going to be our roadmap for advancing on that path. Here, I was just saying, the Glasgow Declaration is actually a framework which has 5 main directions, and I can say elements of importance: measuring, decarbonizing, regenerating, collaborating, and financing. And as you can see here, I just wanted to share, we have launched yesterday, Virginia. Virginia is the responsible for producing such good work. The climate framework that we are launching and the policy guidance is exactly where we stand. This is the number of signatories we have. We have about more than 850 signatories. As you can see, we have 11 destinations, and we have many businesses, and as well civil society. So this is really the most, I can say, proactive sphere in which you can engage, to learn, to share, to be inspired, and to act. And here is what I was just saying. We just released yesterday. You can tag it. It's one of, I can say, a masterpiece to advance the Glasgow Declaration, to support, actually, national tourism administrations to engage in climate action. And interesting enough, it's the first time in the, I can say, in the history of the organization that we have national tourism administrations, ministries that have focal point for climate. Because, as you very well know, the most difficult is to connect climate and tourism and environment, because these are standalone entities which are difficultly working together. So here, what we have identified is the first step is that tourism ministries need to look at the national the NDCs. I'm lost with my acronyms. Then they need to really connect with the tourism ministries, the environment ministries, but the trade as well and others. And they need as well, of course, to involve the private sector. And they need to scale up and create real incentives and levers for the private sector to be able to engage. So I suggest that you explore that piece of work, and happy to hear about it with your views. And here, these are the other pieces of knowledge and inspiration and source of knowledge that you can be consulting and looking at. Of course, we have an engagement pact for National Tourism Administration. We're going to come up with the same for private sector and businesses. We have a methodology of tools and how to measure GHG emissions. We made a benchmark from our standpoint with other partners. I just wanted as well to say that the previous publication has been done with UNEP and UNFCCC, our partners. I think this is important because this shows the alignment that we have with the principle of the Paris Agreement and following up and helping everyone to go into that direction. And then we have a baseline report on climate action in tourism as well. But we are as well looking at having online training sessions, which are going to be released soon, and then webinars with front runners, and of course, we are organizing activities like this one where we can meet and talk. And I think this is important, because knowledge is one, but we have to be creative. So I invite you to co-create with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Zoritsa Urosevic, for this very insightful talk.